In everything we seek, it's really ourselves we hope to find. We look for familiarity in the unknown, hoping to find a mirror within those things that we're looking into, and just hoping to understand things that we cannot quite lay a finger on. Many of us continue to search in these crowded spaces, looking for that quiet, barren space calling us. Perhaps in those empty spaces, free of distraction, free of people sometimes, even free of the person that we've been demanded to be, free of that person that we were forced to be. We find what's within us all along. When we step forward, when we finally take that step that we've been itching to take all along, we discover that meaning that we crave, and the person that we search for is waiting within us, ready to fully be seen, ready to fully be embraced, ready to be loved, ready to be heard. A lot of the times we hide ourselves because we feel like not everybody will accept that person, or not everybody will just listen to that person. But it takes one ear to hear. It takes one ear to realize that, hey, maybe this person is willing, and maybe that ear is yours. Maybe that ear is, it doesn't have to be somebody else. It just has to be you, and that's all you need. Sometimes I tell my friends when they ask for advice, at the end of the day, it's really only going to be you that's going to be sitting with yourself. And why create a person that you would hate? Why create a person that you have to sit with, that you despise? If you're going to be here for so long, you might as well become your own best friend. You shouldn't want to have to despise who you are. You shouldn't want to get away from who you are, because who you are is all you have. Who you are is all you have. And there's no way you're going to run from that person all of your life. You have to come to a conclusion. You have to come to an agreement that, hey, I'm going to love this person with all my might. I'm going to love this person. I'm going to care for this person with everything I have in my body, because that person is you. That person is who you're going to take into your jobs, your families, even these social media spaces that a lot of people try to run from themselves on. That person is going to be who you take everywhere. You have to create a friend within yourself. When we step into these spaces, we're left with nothing but ourselves. This solace we embrace, although it might be intimidating, although it might be scary, becomes a haven for self-reflection, becomes a haven for studying yourself, becomes a haven to really acknowledging who you are and beginning to understand that that person you've been running from only wants to sit and have a talk with you, only wants to sit down and look at you and let you know that, hey, you don't have to run anymore. You don't have to be afraid of me anymore, because I just want the best for you. It feels like the person we seek in everything is that person that's inside of us. That love that we crave, that those laughs that we crave, is really that person that's inside of us, who's sleeping, trying to crawl out of that space that we've hid them in, trying to crawl out of our hearts, trying to just, become whole with who you are. It's where we begin to intently see our authentic selves without the distraction and displacement of our attention that fill up our tab with creativity and love. And sometimes these places do feel unsettling. These places will feel like, maybe I don't belong here. But that's what brings out who we truly are. It's who you are when you're uncomfortable is who you truly are. Behind all of these walls that you've placed between you and that person is longing to be seen. Maybe we need to put these walls down and just, truly reconcile with who we left for dead, with who we left to rot. Stillness requires us to be still and look in the mirror. Stillness requires us to be able to sit for a long amount of time and not be afraid, and not fidget, and not scramble, and not try to go on our phones, and not try to find somewhere to hide. Stillness requires all of us, not some of us, not most of us, not a little bit of us, all of us. And will you abide to those rules? Embrace is one of those things that, for me, is an act of courage. It's in those moments of embrace where we create and cultivate a deeper relationship with ourselves. It's in those moments of welcoming that we really look at ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, I love you. Hey, you matter. Hey, you're worthy to be here. You're worthy to be here. We begin to understand that we don't need others to see what is already true. We don't need others to see what is already known. We don't need others to begin to understand who we are. We recognize that the void that is within us is only because that we ran from filling it with us. You know, it doesn't need to be filled with cement. It doesn't need to be filled with drinks, alcohol, drugs. It doesn't need to be filled with any of that. It just needs to be filled with the depth of who we are. You know, that endless flow of growth, that endless flow of just creating and living and going through days, you know, with learning. You know, the never-ending journey of loving is what we need to fill it with. You know, the journey, once you accept that you're walking, once you accept that, you know, that you're going to be walking for your whole life, you will always be conscious of where your feet go. You'll always be conscious of where you look unto for directions and who you look unto for directions. You can't go to someone who's been lost their entire lives. You know, and that's not to say that, you know, oh, you shouldn't want to, you know, guide that person, but it shouldn't be a first resort to go to a person that doesn't even know where they are yet. You know, how does a person know? You'll know. You'll know. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. You will know. Matthew 5:14-16 says, we're the light of the world. And once we actively seek that bulb that we keep within ourselves, you know, you will light up everything that God has placed inside of you. You know, I had to learn that the hard way. You know, I had, not even the hard way, I just had to learn that, you know, throughout all of my experiences, that I'm really a talented individual. It's the light that He's given us to light up the world, and it's the light that He's given us to let us know that we don't need to search outward for validation, for purpose, for even identity. By finding comfort in that solitude, by finding comfort in that solace, that stillness like I spoke about, we discover everything that we seek has been within us all along. All we need to do is just switch that light bulb on and look inward to see it clearly. All we have to do is just seek Him. All we have to do is trust Him as well. All we have to do is just seek God. And we're going to see what He has placed inside of us. We're going to see what, you know, He has given us freely, because we're His children, because we are His own. And once you see that, the world is yours. Wow, if you enjoyed this video, I really do appreciate you to upload in one day. I know I'm getting crazy, right? I really do appreciate you guys. I really love you all. Yeah, more videos will be coming soon. I really love this, man. Like, I thank you for 300 subs, by the way. 300 subs is crazy. Wow. I really don't even know what to say. 300 subs. I didn't think I was gonna get here this fast, honestly. I was kind of, you know, I'll keep that in like a Q&A for something later. But I really do appreciate you guys. I love each and every one of you. Like I say all the time, I'm very, very proud of each and every one of you for taking a step to watch, taking a step to listen, and even if you listen to the advice in the video, you should be proud of yourself. And even if you don't, just allowing your ear to hear something that could be different from what you've been hearing all your life, you should be proud of yourself. You know, taking steps isn't something that is well recognized within, you know, within families and within people, within ourselves. And we need to celebrate each one of those steps, because we never know which one of those steps will lead us to the grand stage, will lead us to what we've been searching for all of our lives. You know, steps are something that need to be celebrated. Change is something. It's often a silent victory that forgets to be celebrated, and you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself.